Apparently, Mary Brown is sticking up for Janelle Brown after the season ended. And according to Mary, the whole story about Janelle wasn't shown. We only saw a few minutes of it, and that no one in this case or this family should be the culprit. And Mary did this on her Instagram on her Friday night with friends because she said that she has been on the receiving end of this online vitriol in the past, and it's caused her a lot of private turmoil and fear, and now she's seen it happen to Janelle, where people are cascading and portraying Janelle as the villain and somehow the bad person in the situation. And I went to Janelle's Instagram, and I did not see any negative notes really. Not very many. And so I don't know if it's just that people are lean comments about it. I don't know if people are making movies about it. I don't know. But as much as I have pity for them, they're on a show with TLC who edits and shows us what we want to see. And this has been going on for 15 years. And so throughout that 15 years, people in this family have become objects of online. And there's a very easy way to stop that. It's by not having a reality show and letting a network to edit and make your life monetized for entertainment. But while I do think the negative backlash for Janelle is not wonderful, right? And I don't think anyone should be sending threats to anyone. I will say the most recent tell-all didn't help Janelle's case because information was revealed about her that painted her not in the best light. No. And when people started sharing their points of view like Mary, and then details are discussed like Janelle claims that, Jen, and said that she told Mary to take the money and run and gave her advice to leave Cody. That certainly caused something to happen because then Janelle says or creates the story that Jen is the problem, or Cody creates the story that Jen is the problem, that Jen is not safe for Cody, for Mary, that she tried to split Mary up from the family and she's the one that made her leave. Which, really, why does that matter? Like, they're all moved on. They're all happy. It's a nothing burger. But regardless, it got brought up this past episode, the last show of the season. And so now, allegedly, everyone's going off after Janelle. And I don't think that Janelle really helped the situation by any means, because last week after the episode aired, where she spoke about this advice that Jen gave to Mary, that she claims Jen gave to Mary, she wrote, "I never tell women what decision to make." And that's on purpose. Advice passes, self-rest stays. And she wrote, "I will never tell women what decision to make, even when they really want me to. Not because I don't have opinions, but because confidence doesn't come from being told what to do. Advice can feel comfortable in the moment, it can quiet the anxiety for a little while, but it doesn't rebuild trust in yourself. And that's the part that actually carries you forward. What I care about is helping women hear their own thinking more clearly. When the decision is yours, you don't have to borrow confidence from someone else. You build it by standing behind yourself." It was just an interesting time for her to say, "I won't tell another woman what to do." Who knows if it's any way directed at Jen for trying to give her friend advice? But I think that's false, because Janelle has told Christine what to do for years, and she advised Christine to get her money in order before she left Cody. So, it's funny, because she claims Jen gave that advice to Mary. But then Janelle gave the same advice to Christine. Either way, Wyatt, to me, quite honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing to advise someone to leave polygamy. I think it's a good thing. I think it's unhelpful. I think it's unhealthy for people. I think it's unhealthy for all of these women. And with the chaos that's ensued since the final episode, Mykelti was on her Patreon, and she talked about some of the information that came up. And what it's clear is that the kids in this family have been left completely in the dark about what happened with the catfish situation. They to this day still claim that Mary had an affair. This is how it was described by Christine to her kids, how it was described by Janelle, how it was described by Robyn. And the internalized misogyny that exists in that statement is wild. Tony even went as far as to say that Mary had an affair. Even if you want to say that she had an affair, it's a harsh and ridiculous double standard. Mary is not allowed to have happiness and find happiness outside of her husband because he's got 3 other women to find happiness with. She's not allowed for herself to find joy when he can just go sleep with 3 other people. It's the Cody gets to do whatever he wants. Mary does not. Mary was not physical with this catfish. Mary was not in a relationship with a man. There was no man. The man was a woman, fooling her and manipulating her. They have a long history of doing this to people. Mary was not the first victim of this catfish. And perpetuating the narrative that she had an affair is just really just an abusive stereotype about women in polygamy. Like they are property of the man, so they can't do anything. Period. She has to be okay with him doing this, but she can't do it herself. It doesn't make sense, and it never will. Something else that they discussed was Robyn's involvement with the catfish, to which Mykelti and Tony had no idea about. They had no idea that Kendra was communicating with the catfish that Robyn and Kendra had, that this all originated in a Facebook group, that they all met the catfish there. Robyn was following it, and Kendra was literally talking directly to the catfish for Robyn. Yeah, that's really a thing. It's true. So, while they couldn't answer questions about the catfish, Mykelti and Tony could discuss Robyn and Robyn's meddling in the family. And Mykelti claims that Robyn didn't join the family to destroy the family, right? But that she just happened to find her soulmate. I do try to think the benefit of the doubt, but I've given Mary a lot of grace as well. I'm just trying to remember back in when we were in the Vegas houses and what I remember being told about it, like what I remember happening about it, and Robyn's personality, and Robyn as well. I don't think that she joined the family with the intention to destroy the family. I just don't think at Robyn's core, she's an evil person. 100%. She's made some mistakes, 100%. She's betrayed some sister wives, 100%. There's a lot of things that she's done that are not okay. But I don't think she's that malicious as to purposefully set Mary up for failure. I just don't think she's that malicious. I do think she can be manipulative 100%, but I don't think she's malicious. Nor do I think Mary's malicious, for the record. Lack of belief in the theory. I think don't miss where she already knows that Robyn did say things to her mom, other moms, and she would leak it. And because of that, we know that she is not to be trusted. Because of those things, like Kelty's already there. In order for this polygamous family to have existed, someone had to control the information, and because Cody doesn't have access to all of the people, and he's not with them all the time. There's a lot of things that happen when he's not around that he does not know about. In order for him to maintain control, he needs to rely on individuals in the family to be sort of like his, eyes when he's not watching. This is a common tactic used by cult leaders. They have systems set up where people become tattletales, where they have people confess to them about what's going on, and then those that become tattletale or providers of information to the leader can often become rewarded for their loyalty, right? And so if you're willing to barter in currency of information, you're able to then gain favor with the leader. This is a strategy that's used in polygamy all the time. It's also a strategy used in other cults. So this isn't just like something that's isolated to polygamy. Leaders of cults don't exist in a vacuum. And I would say that every single family in polygamy is their own separate cult to a degree. Because the husband, has full control of that family. Now, they may have to go to leaders, but they themselves are the leader of this family. And when Cody and the family broke off from the church, they became the cult of the Cody Brown, right? And so Cody relied on wives to tattle. And every single woman in the family is vying for resources. Now, I disagree that Robyn wasn't there for herself or that Robyn wasn't there to destroy the family. Because at the heart of this, if she truly believed in polygamy like they all claimed they did, she would have been able to maintain herself in that situation with maybe a little bit more dignity and grace than the rest, other than had the other 3 women had done, where they all had worked collectively together for years, right? But I don't think she ever came into the family really wanting to be involved in it. Like, it never felt like she ever wanted to be included, even though she always claimed she was being excluded, right? I think she never wanted to be a plural wife. That's just my opinion based on what I've seen. She didn't act like someone that wanted to be in this situation. If you don't want to be in polygamy, then you're going to do a lot of things to manipulate things to get what you want. You're going to play games. You're going to make people look bad. You're going to interfere in relationships, which is exactly what Robyn did. You think that Robyn is not the moral compass? No, definitely not the moral compass, Kathy. I don't think any of them are the moral compass at all. All of them have made mistakes. All of them have their issues and stuff like so. No, I don't think any of them are moral compass. I do think that Robyn has loose lips. So, I agree with that. Robyn has loose lips. She's not the moral compass, though. I think that Robyn didn't go. I think that Robyn's intentions at the time were sincere. I think that they might have been a little bit like, if like a give gets sincere, maybe. But I do think that they were sincere. I do agree. I think the manipulation got created over time. I think that she joined sincerely. I think she actually did go in thinking, I want to live polygamy. I'd love to live polygamy. But I think like also what happened to my dad, where he found his soulmate, she found her soulmate, and it wasn't in the whole family. It was in Cody. And I think that's the other problem, is that, she fell in love with him as well. Head over heels. And I think that my mom fell in love with my dad, but my dad wasn't my mom's soulmate. So like there was this deep level of connection, but there was almost like it hurts more to try harder kind of thing. So I think that when Robyn joined the family as well, because he was also her soulmate, she inadvertently wanted to make sure that her relationship with my dad was top tier. I don't think she purposely was like, I'm going to destroy these other relationships, but I do think it ended up obviously worked in her favor for that to happen. Maybe not her favor, because she still swears she wants to live. And this is inherently the problem of what Cody and Robyn have done, right? Mykelti is deconstructing, and she is very much moving away from, defending Robyn, and she doesn't have a good relationship with Robyn or with her dad, and she doesn't really even speak to them. But inherently, if someone joins a polygamous family, they're joining with the expectation that they will never be the favorite. They are joining with the expectation that they will be sharing. Thus, if they are joining for polygamy, they are not joining to be top tier. They are not joining to be number one. They're not joining for a single soulmate, right? In theory. I don't say that theory actually works in practice, because polygamy often doesn't work in practice, especially in this cult. And it's natural for people to fall in love with one person. That's totally normal. Cody's affinity for his wives changed, and he had favorite wives that revolved often. But Robyn maintained this level of being the favorite constantly. If she truly would have valued what Cody was doing in the family, she wouldn't have been the intermediary. She wouldn't have been playing tattletale. She wouldn't have been causing conflicts in relationships. Because she also says that Robyn did run back to Cody when Mary would confide in her. When Christine would confide in her. It probably also happened to Janelle. So, all of them are telling things to Robyn. Robyn's then reporting that back to Cody, and then they get in trouble, right? And all of them have talked about this on the show. Janelle talked about a situation where she had told something to Robyn, and then they got into this fight on the anniversary, I think, or their birthday when they were together, because Janelle brought it up, and then Cody told her not to talk about it. But the only way Cody would have known is had Robyn told him, right? So, Robyn didn't want to live polygamy. And I think that's the point that Christine and David make, is that if you want to live polygamy, you don't do what she does. You don't tattle. You don't drive wedges. You don't get your husband mad at someone else so that your relationship is better. You don't create conflicts. You don't create problems. You don't pit Cody against the other women. As much as Cody pit the wives against each other, Robyn equally pit Cody against the other wives, and they're both, in my opinion, narcissistic. And so, now they're stuck with each other truly. But it is interesting to hear her say that Robyn's manipulation ultimately did destroy the family, and she got what she wanted, which was Cody to herself, because she created conflict between the women and Cody and distrust, and she made Cody believe that these women were all out to get her and that. It was never her fault. And then she would threaten Cody and leave him if he wanted to choose them. We already saw what she tried to do with the Coyote Pass situation, where she threatened to go legal on Cody if, he partnered with Janelle. So, that's the truth. So, she's not saying it directly, but she's saying that Robyn's manipulation and Robyn's selfishness ultimately is what works in her favor and destroys the family and removes all of her competition. And all the wives leave as a result because of her interference in the family and the fights that she creates by telling Cody what the other wives are doing, framing it in a certain way, and then Cody lashing out at the wives, which then puts the wives in a position where they're no longer happy with him, and they don't feel like they can confide in him or her. That's the truth. So, what are your thoughts about this, admission that Robyn did destroy the family? Tell me in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.